Soichiro Honda. On October 1st, 1937, Soichiro Honda started Tokai Seiki, making piston rings for Toyota. His first designs failed. In January 1944, bombs flattened his Yamashita factory. On January 13th, 1945, an earthquake destroyed his Iwata plant. With nothing left, Honda sold scrap metal, even melted down empty gasoline cans just to buy food for his family. He later sold the ruined company to Toyota for 450,000 yen, about $3,900. Still, he kept tinkering. He strapped surplus engines onto bicycles, selling them to neighbors who needed transport. The demand was instant. On September 24th, 1948, he founded Honda Motor Company. By focusing on affordable, reliable bikes like the Dream D-Type, Honda grew into a company worth over $45 billion by 2023. Fred Smith. At Yale, in 1965, Fred Smith wrote a paper about a hub-and-spoke system for overnight shipping. His professor gave it a C. On June 18, 1971, he incorporated Federal Express, investing $4 million of his inheritance and $1 million. The first service night came on April 17, 1973, when 14 Falcon 20 jets departed Memphis with 186 packages. Losses spiraled, nearly $1 million a month. By Friday, July 13, 1973, FedEx had just $5,000 left, not enough to refuel the jets for Monday's routes. Smith flew to Las Vegas, played blackjack, and by Sunday night returned with $27,000, enough to keep planes in the air. By July of 1975, FedEx reported its first profit. Today, the company ships over 15 million parcels daily, earning more than $90 billion annually. Roland Hussey Macy. On October 28, 1851, Roland Hussey Macy opened his first dry goods store in Haverhill, Massachusetts. Customers trickled in, but by 1858, he had already failed at 4 locations. Undeterred, on October 28, 1858, Macy opened R.H. Macy & Company at 14th Street and 6th Avenue in New York City. He marked goods with fixed prices, no haggling, and offered money-back guarantees, ideas unusual at the time. On his first day, Macy earned just $11.08. Within a year, sales hit $85,000. By 1877, the store expanded to 11 connected buildings, and annual revenue reached $1 million. Today, Macy's is worth more than $5 billion, known for its Thanksgiving Day parade. Proof persistence can turn pennies into empires. Milton S. Hershey. In 1876, 18-year-old Milton Hershey borrowed money to open a candy shop in Philadelphia. 6 years later, it closed in debt. By 1882, he tried again in New York, but the business collapsed. Back in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Hershey experimented with caramel using fresh milk. In 1886, he founded the Lancaster Caramel Company, which grew rapidly. By 1900, he sold it for $1 million, about $36 million today. With that fortune, he built the Hershey Chocolate Company on February 9, 1894. By 1905, his factory in Derry Township produced Hershey's milk chocolate bars at scale. Sales soared across America. By the 1920s, Hershey was a household name, and by 2023, the company's value topped $40 billion. Jack Ma. On July 15, 1988, Jack Ma graduated from Hangzhou Normal University with a degree in English. He applied for over 30 jobs, including at KFC in Hangzhou, yet was rejected from everyone. In March 1995, during a visit to Seattle, he searched beer on Yahoo and saw no Chinese results. Back home that year in April, he founded China Pages, one of China's first internet companies. By 1997, it failed miserably. On April 4, 1999, Ma invited 17 friends to his apartment and launched Alibaba. In October 1999, Goldman Sachs invested $5 million. In January 2000, SoftBank added $20 million. Alibaba's EIPO on September 19, 2014, in New York, raised $25 billion, then the largest in history. Today, Alibaba's market cap exceeds $200 billion. James Dyson. On March 12, 1978, James Dyson grew frustrated while vacuuming his home in Bath, England. He noticed his Hoover clogged constantly. That night, he sketched a new design using a cyclonic separation. Between 1979 and 1984, he built 5,127 prototypes, each failing. In January 1983, he launched the G-Force vacuum in Japan through catalog sales. It sold modestly, winning the 1991 International Design Fair Prize in Tokyo, but European manufacturers refused to license it. In June 1993, Dyson mortgaged his house and founded Dyson Limited. In Malmesbury, by July 1995, the Dyson Dual Cyclone was the UK's best-selling vacuum. By 2023, Dyson's net worth surpassed $20 billion, and his company employed 14,000 worldwide. From failure after failure came global success. Henry Ford. On January 12, 1899, Henry Ford founded the Detroit Automobile Company with eager investors, but his cars were heavy, slow, and overpriced. Unsurprisingly, by November 1900, the company collapsed. He tried again in November 1901 with the Henry Ford Company, but disagreements forced him out within months. To prove himself, Ford built a racer named 990. On October 25, 1901, Henry Ford stunned a crowd at Grosse Pointe by winning a 10-mile race in his car sweepstakes at an average speed of about 72 miles per hour, earning headlines and backers. On June 16, 1903, Ford incorporated the Ford Motor Company with $28,000. The real breakthrough came on October 1, 1908, when the Model T debuted at $850. Affordable, simple, and durable, it changed transportation. By 1914, over 300,000 were sold yearly. Today, Ford earns more than $174 billion annually. Steve Jobs. On April 1, 1976, in a small garage in Los Altos, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak assembled the first Apple computer on a plain wooden bench. By December 12, 1980, Apple went public, and Jobs was worth over $200 million. But on September 17, 1985, after a bitter boardroom fight, Jobs was forced out of his own company. He sold most of his Apple stock and left humiliated. He founded NeXT that year, and on January 30th, 1986, bought Pixar for $10 million. When Toy Story premiered on November 22, 1995, Pixar exploded in success. Apple acquired NeXT on December 20th, 1996, bringing Jobs back. The iMac released August 15, 1998, reignited Apple. By 2023, Apple's value passed $2.7 trillion. On July 6, 1923, bankrupt Walt Disney boarded a train from Kansas City to Los Angeles, Walt Disney carrying a cardboard suitcase and $40. With his brother Roy, he founded the Disney Brothers Studio on October 16, 1923, in a small office on Kingswell Avenue. In March 1928, after losing Oswald the Lucky Rabbit to Universal, Walt sketched a mouse on a train ride back to California. On November 18, 1928, Mickey Mouse debuted in Steamboat Willie at New York's Colony Theater, and the crowd erupted in applause. Disney gambled everything again on Snow White, premiering December 21, 1937. It earned $8 million, saving the studio. On July 17, 1955, Disneyland opened in Anaheim, welcoming 28,000 guests. Today, Disney's empire is worth over $160 billion. Ray Kroc. In the 1920s, Ray Kroc tried selling Florida real estate, but the boom collapsed. He played piano in bars and even worked as a radio DJ, but neither lasted. By the 1930s, he was trudging door to door selling paper cups. His once steady win came selling multi-mixer milkshake machines. But by the early 1950s, sales collapsed as diners shut down. Then came a surprise. One small burger stand in San Bernardino ordered 8 multi-mixers at once. Intrigued, Kroc drove west in January 1955. Inside, Richard and Maurice McDonald's kitchen fired out burgers and fries in seconds. He saw a model he could scale. On April 15, 1955, he opened his first franchise McDonald's in Des Plaines, Illinois. By 1961, he bought the brothers out for $2.7 million. Today, McDonald's earns over $23 billion annually. Colonel Sanders born, September 9, 1890, Harlan Sanders grew up cooking for his siblings after his father died. By his 40s, he had 5 children,